Hello everyone, this is Kathleen and I'm here again with my second journal for my design team project this month. It's with StacyStories on Etsy, and the kit I'm using again is Vintage Woodland Wonder, and I will have all of that information listed in the description box. This is a second journal with the kit. It was just so big and beautiful, and I just loved doing it, and so I did two journals. So this one is again 8.5 by 5 3/4. It has just two signatures and a 1-inch spine, has 104 pages, 15 pockets and tucks, and 35 pieces of ephemera. I'm calling this one Wander, and I have focused this one on fishing. And my husband is a fly fisherman. He loves to fly fish and tie flies. He actually put himself through his doctorate degree back in Ohio, tying flies for fly fishermen. Yeah, that was the extra money that we were able to earn, and we needed it pretty desperately in those years. Anyway, so a lot of fun memories about fishing, and it's very similar to the other journal, but this one, let's just go inside and I'll show you. This one is actually sold, and it's going to a husband for his birthday. And so I have included two different book plates that I have. These are compliments of the graphics fairy, so apologies to Stacy, but I just want to include those in case this gal wants to put that in as a presentation book for her husband. So that's here in the front. Again, this beautiful wood grain paper that I really love. And I've made another peekaboo pocket here in the front. I have used just a little paper bag and this graph talking about flies, fishing flies. I don't understand it, but someone might. And then I've just made this journal paper and hand dyed that. Put a little fish on there, and then that slides in there. And then I made just this simple tag with I just loved the beautiful colors on this, and I've got a little fish hiding there behind this mylar leaves, and a little paragraph from a book about following a stream. And yeah, then I have a little charm here that says happy, because that's what you are, I guess, when you're out fishing. And this is just a little piece of ephemera, journal ephemera, music. The title is Time on My Hands, which you also have to go fishing. So there's lots of room for writing in this journal, or keeping lists, or collecting memories, or pasting things. This is a beautiful piece of antique ledger that's pretty much blank and ready to journal on. Some vintage note paper and just some regular journaling paper. This is another page from a vintage book that I have on fly fishing. And I've just created this little collage here. And to go in the pocket, I have hand dyed some of that children's scratch paper. I love it. It's this gray color, but when I get it wet and dry it, it just feels really cool, and it's really fun to write on. So I made a piece of that for this pocket. And this is the pages are from Stacy's kit, this page, and then I just have some regular scrapbooking paper, some scraps, but these are images from the kit. This pine tree, and this is a topographical map. It's beautiful. You'll see it a little bit later on. I've just done some stamping on this little inventory tag and made this journaling paper. I did a little punch there, just kind of as a little embellishment. This is also one of the kit pages. Just a beautiful kind of leather look. Coffee dyed paper. This was some old scrapbook, fishing scrapbook paper I've had in my stash for probably 25 years. Yeah, so I was able to use that finally in this book. A little bit of fiber behind that Denison label. Some vintage paper there. Here's the topo map. Yeah, isn't that beautiful? And I've just done a little fabric ruffle and cluster right here, and included this beautiful green stamp of the Queen Elizabeth. This is going to Australia, and so yeah, this just kind of to celebrate her jubilee. Vintage, more of that paper, and this is one of the pretty images in the kit, and I've just embellished that with this little banner tuck and a little bit of vintage science paper to write on. And this is from it's a Rolodex from a lawyer's office, and a vintage guest check. That just all kind of tucks up in there. So just some interesting things for him to look at and write on if he wishes. Here's some more ephemera in this little pocket. Just a little journal notebook paper. This is some of my railroad ephemera. Chicago and Northwestern Railway Company, the accounting department. Yes, there's some notes there. This is from February 1906, and the back can be journaled on if he wishes. And there's some more Pacific Railroad journal notebook. Just that pretty leaf print on that designer page, and this is another page from the kit. Pretty image of the squirrel. You saw that in the other journal. And I've just done a little bit of a embellishment on this library card, and this is just a blank journaling tag. Here's the other part of this pretty antique ledger. A little bit of embellishment here, just kind of a label. You can write a title for whatever might go on that page. Here's a journaling card from that masterboard that I made the other day. It slides in there. This is just, this was just a little card I had in my stash. I don't even know who it belongs to, but I thought it matched here. And this is just stamped and stenciled index card, and some other little vintage ephemera pieces. A Yahtzee score sheet. And here's another tag that I made with that same map page I've made into a tag, and then fussy cut that beautiful hawk from the kit, and found a little bit of a sentiment there to put on the tag. This, by the way, is I used the tag template Grounded to make this tag. So all of my tag templates are listed in a playlist under tag template. here's the end of the first signature. This is the second signature. I've used that wood grain again on the other half of this. Just a little bit of fiber there. This is some handmade Japanese paper with a nice water stain on it. One of the kit cards, and this is just a receipt and a carbon there. And this is an antique postcard from Mirror Lake in Utah, and my husband and I got lost trying to find this lake, and it was late at night. We were trying to camp and couldn't find it. It was late and it was dark, and we finally found a spot and stayed. But anyway, yeah, that reminds me of that, getting lost. Oh my word. Here's another piece of vintage scrapbook paper, because I know I've had it for about 25 years. Yeah. Vintage stenographer's notebook. Here's those papers, vintage papers again. And this is from a stamp catalog or collecting book, you know. Yeah, scrapbook. Beautiful, really lovely paper. It feels really nice, very smooth. I've just made this little pocket in the bottom. And this is not in the kit. This is about the only digital image I have. I have one other with fly fishing on it. And I just printed that out to include here. I think it belongs to the Graphics Fairy. And this is from European Moths and Butterflies book. Yeah, so that goes behind there. Done some stenciling here, and here again is that beautiful center image. I just fell in love with that. Oh gosh, love it. More stenciling on the back, and here's the other half of that stamp collecting book. A time check card, and here's the other image that I have about fly fishing. As I say, I think it comes from the Graphics Fairy. I can't be sure though. And just a little journaling paper. Here's the top half of the stenographer's notebook, and I've just put some pretty waterish color fibers through there. And this is a folded journal paper. Got one of those little tiny paper clips. This is just a scrap, Tim Holtz scrap, and a journal paper. I put one of the kit images here, and then just folded that up, and then it just tucks over one of the shorts like that. And then we'll put this on the other side and clip that back on. It just kind of holds it on securely. It's the other half of that fish paper, and the other part of that pretty map paper. And this is also not in the kit. It was in my stash as well. It's just a picture of a fly fisherman fishing. Yep. And I've made this was some wrapping paper that I had saved just for this kind of occasion, to do something artistic with, and I've just made this little tag, a bow on there. Here's a vintage receipt, and this is also a vintage receipt, 1944, to the auditor of the state of Ohio. for the gasoline fund. So just tuck those back in there. And then the other part of those papers and the final wood grain paper. And then on the back, I've just created this little corner pocket to kind of match. I've collaged on the inside of the back cover. And I've just included a couple images that I have of Fisherman from my stash. So that's in there. This is another piece of railroad ephemera, 1906, Casper, Wyoming, from the auditor in Chicago. I think they're going to fire somebody. Yeah, sadly. And a vintage check also tucked in here. So just some fun things to look at. And then I've just done this simple elastic and button closure. So here's the way that the back looks. This, you know, again was a mixed media painting project for the cover with this lovely panel on the front. Thanks so much for being with me and watching, and I always appreciate your time and attention. Thanks so much. We'll see you again.